Hey, what's up everybody? This is Paulio Jr. And in today's video, I'm going to do my best to show you how to have multiple hard drives on installed on your computer, and each hard drive having a different operating system on it. So now when I start up my computer, I have the option to use either Windows 7, Windows 8.1, and also Windows 10 when my computer starts up. I have Windows 7 as my default, but for those of you who are interested in doing this, are a little bit familiar with computers in general, this is extremely easy. So the easiest way, the beginner's guide to doing this is having each operating system installed on each hard drive. So in this computer, which is a little bit older now, it's a Dell Optiplex something or other, 780 or something. So now, and luckily, I have a little bit of room here. I know there are definitely computers with more room, and this is very simple. So what I have here I have three individual hard drives. So one here, which is my main one, one here that I just threw in, and then I actually threw one up here as well. So obviously, let me unplug the power cord real quick, just because whenever we're doing anything on the inside, we want to have the power off. So make sure you have enough room. And so there's two things you're going to need. And one, this is the power cord for any SATA hard drive, and that's really any hard drive you're going to buy today, whether it's a solid state drive or just a regular SATA drive. So I'd always recommend going with a solid state drive, as they will last much longer than SATA drives that have mechanical parts in it. So, and they're a lot quicker as well. So this is the power cable for your hard drive to actually obviously have the power running on it. And that's just directly connected from the power supply. And then the second thing you need is the data transfer cable, which, if I can get it out here, looks like this. So both sides are the same exact size. So one of them goes into the hard drive itself, and there's only two places you can actually plug it in on the hard drive, so it's not that difficult. So we have one, so that's the data transfer. That's how the computer recognizes the hard drive. And then we have the power cord for the hard drive. So now they are both plugged in, and you can see this black wire running into the port on the motherboard. So I actually have, on this computer, I have four SATA data transfer cables. So you can see one, two, the black and the red, and then I have three, sorry, with my hand here, three, four, if you see the blue and the orange. Now each cable is running to something, to each hard drive. So you can see the orange one, the orange one actually goes to my CD-ROM drive, and then the blue one here, if you can see from there, runs along here and runs to my main one. The red one goes down here, and then whatchamacall, and then the black one goes to the one I was just showing you. So we have all of our hard drives plugged in and ready to go. And so what I'm gonna do is just power. Well, Yeah, let me plug in the power supply in the back here. So that's plugged in. And let's start her up. Now this is really cool because we can actually, yeah, Dell Optiplex 780. Let me turn off the, so now you see I actually have the option at the beginning to go to Windows 7, Windows 8.1, or Windows 10. So, and I have 7 as my default just because it's it's still it's still frequently updated through Microsoft, and out of all three, Windows 7 still runs the quickest and is the most stable operating system that Windows has out to date. So this is really cool because I like that if I want to use a different operating system, I can. So I'm just going to go right to Windows 7. So there's tons of videos on on YouTube on how to install operating systems and so forth, but you're going to need one of two things here to get this going. And so the first would be a CD-ROM or a CD or a DVD of your Windows operating system. And then the other, you would need a thumb drive here, what we got right here with an operating system installed on it. So I believe I've gone over this in the past, but what I'm going to do is stop this on my phone and at least show you how to install a Windows operating system to your thumb drive and also to a DVD drive, and we'll go from there. Okay, before we start here, the first thing we want to do is we actually want to go into our BIOS. So I'm hoping mine is F2. Like when you start up the computer initially, it's for any Dell, it's F2. Different machines, you have different functions to go into your BIOS. So with my, I'm doing my best here to hold the camera as steady as possible with one hand, is I actually have to go to an option called drives right here. And I'm going to go to SATA operation. I don't turn on the RAID, I leave it on legacy. And then I go to drives, and yours might look a little bit different. So I have 4 SATA drive ports on my inside of my computer, and I want to make sure that if I want to be able to see the drive and have the drive accessible, I want to have them all checked off. If you have this option, make sure every drive is checked so that they are accessible. If it's not checked off, it will not come up. So I'm just going to exit this. Do you want to save changes? No, because I'm already happy with how everything is. And so all my drives are selected, which means that they will come up. They will be able to be read by the computer itself, and also in any when you're in the operating system. So since I have 3 different operating systems on 3 different hard drives, I can access each hard drive from each operating system. So now we will get into how to install these operating systems onto a thumb drive or on a DVD drive, and we'll go from there. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is install the operating system on a thumb drive. This is a 64 gig. As you can see, you're going to need these .ISO files, which I was able to rip from the actual DVDs that I have. So these are all between 3.5 and 4 gigs. So as long as you have that amount for a thumb drive. They're really inexpensive anymore. This is just a 64 gigabyte one, but I could use one obviously a lot smaller as long as it'll fit the .iso file on it. So that's the only reason I turned on the webcam, to show you I'm holding a thumb drive. So, and now there's a free program called Power ISO that you can download from poweriso.com. And what we're going to do is install that and then open Power ISO. Now, it is a free program, but they do ask for you to pay for the upgrade to use different features. But this is a tool that you can still use without purchasing it. And it's called, so you open up Power ISO, you go to Tools, you go to Create Bootable USB Drive. So what I'm going to do is plug in my thumb drive, USB drive, whatever. And wait for that to, it should pop up, but anyway. We're going to go to Tools, and then we're going to go to Create Bootable USB Drive. So let me close that out. And then we're going to click on this folder up here, the folder icon. And I have 3 operating systems, which you saw in the beginning, all show up in the beginning. So we'll just do Windows 7 64-bit. And if they do have 32 bits available, always just go with the 64-bit. So we click that, and all of the defaults are perfectly fine. The write method, the USB-HDD, and the file system automatic, just leave that, and literally all you're going to do is hit start, and that's it. Let it finish, and I already actually have an operating system installed on that thumb drive, so I will we'll go into that. So that's it. Just click start as long as you have that .iso file, and let that run through, and then you have your Windows operating system installed on a thumb drive, and that's it. The other way now is, oh, here I come, is a blank DVD -R disk. So what I'm going to do is, and this will hold, because it's 4.7 gigabytes, will hold the entire .iso file, obviously. So let's get out of here. So I'm popping in the DVD, the blank DVD right now. And I'm taking out the thumb drive. And I actually really like this program called Deep Burner. You can still use Power ISO to do it. And Deep Burner is available at deepburner.com. And we're going to do Burn ISO Image. Wait for this. And we'll open this up here. Okay, so we click on this, and I'm back in my official operating systems folder, and I'm just going to click Windows 7 64-bit .iso, and after that, we're just going to do Burn ISO. Write speed I have at the max, just leave it at that, and all we're going to do is Burn ISO, and then you might even be able to hear the CD-ROM going to work. So I'm going to wait for this to finish because I can't, my, whatchamacall, my DVDs are in the car. I don't feel like running outside. So let that finish. Doesn't matter if it's the Windows 7, Windows 8, or Windows 10, or even if you really wanted, you can throw an older operating system on there, like Vista or XP, which will actually be a lot smaller, and you actually can use a CD-R. So let's let this finish, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so after Deep Burner has finished burning our ISO file onto our DVD, I'm going to pop that into it automatically ejects. I'm going to put it back into the CD-ROM drive here. and then we should see it pop up in here and have a pop up for the Windows 7 setup. So now we have a bootable, there we go, goodbye. Now we have a bootable DVD drive here for Windows 7 64-bit, Windows 7 Pro 64-bit. So if you see the auto run and boot manager files, you're good to go. They'll, when you start them up, if you have it in the CD-ROM drive or you have the thumb drive, when the computer starts up, it will boot to either or, whichever one you want to do. So this is the last part here. What I'm going to do is restart the computer and show you where to go from there. One is starting up the computer. I'm actually tapping F12 to go into my boot menu. And I have both plugged in. So I have the thumb drive plugged in, and I have the CD-ROM drive plugged in. So let's do the thumb drive. So the boot device menu gives you an option for a USB drive, which is that one I have right there. That's highlighted. And if you want to do the CD-ROM drive, you would just click this one. Now, what I would do is have just one of them put in. So we either have the DVD drive, the CD, put in the computer, or have the removable thumb drive in the computer. So I'm just going to go to USB device, hit enter, and it should, there we go. So this is actually, I believe this one is Windows, it's either 8.1 or 10 that I already had installed on the thumb drive. So this is going to bring us to our setup file. And it actually does, if you do boot to the thumb drive, it will actually install a little bit quicker as well, as opposed to recording directly to the CD-ROM itself. So right now I just have the thumb drive in there. So let's let this load up. So I did have Windows 8 on the thumb drive. So I'm just going to click next. Install now. And I'm not going to do anything yet. I'm not going to install it, obviously, but I'm just going to show you the features that you're going to get and how it looks. So let's let this load up as well. All right, so I'm going through next. I'm going to do custom instead of upgrade. Custom. And now we see 4 partitions here. So I have 3 in there. One is my terabyte hard drive, in which I already have Windows 7. Then I have these other hard drives, this is a 40 gigabyte hard drive, and then this one is an 80 gigabyte hard drive. Now one of them I have Windows 8.1 already installed, the other one I already have Windows 10 installed. So I'm not going to touch any of these. But what you would do is you would find what size hard drive you have. So this is the 80 gig one, and I would click delete, then hit yes, and then hit next, and then that would install whatever version of Windows I have on the thumb drive. So, but I'm not going to do that right now because I'm not messing with any of my partitions. So this is Windows 7. I think that this is 10 and this is 8.1 at the moment. So, but I'm just going to leave these alone. Just wanted to show you that what you're working with and so forth, and that's how you would install it through the CD, through the thumb drive. And basically, you would just go along and do that for each hard drive. So for right now, let's say we wanted to install Windows 8.1. We'll say on the 40 gigabyte hard drive, we would delete it and then hit yes, and then click next, and it would do that. And then you would just repeat the process with different operating systems. So after that was done, say we wanted to do Windows 10, we had the CD or the thumb drive, and we would do the same thing. So we want to install it on this other hard drive, is drive 2. I would click delete, yes, and then next, and then I would have Windows 10 on that. And then if we have the third hard drive here, we would do the same thing, delete, click yes, and then click next, and it would install Windows 7. And then after that's done, basically, I'm going to restart this while I'm talking. Are you sure you want to quit? Yes. So I'm going to take out the thumb drive. Thumb drive is out. And now we're going to install it from the CD-ROM. We're going to install it from the CD-ROM drive. So I'm just clicking F12 again for my computer to go into my boot menu, telling the computer what I want to load up. So this is the first one's if I wanted to load up my hard drive or any of the hard drives, and this is the onboard or USB CD-ROM drive. So I'm going to do that. And the CD-ROM drive is kicking in. And press any key to boot from CD. And then that comes up. Windows is loading files. And we're going to approach the same screen. Okay, so this is the one where I use Deep Burner to install Windows 7 onto the CD-ROM drive. Same thing, I would click next. I would install now. And then I believe we get the same options, either upgrade or custom. So I accept, custom, and we would do the same thing that I just showed you. Whichever drive you want to get rid of. This one actually gives you drive options that you would click, and you would say delete, yes, and then next. So, and then boom, there's Windows 7. Once that's installed, do the same thing on a different hard drive. Delete, yes, next. And then for the third hard drive, same thing. Delete, yes, next. And that's all. If you need drivers and so forth, once you're in the operating system, then you would actually use a program that I've done a review on, which is Driver Booster. Fantastic. But Windows 8.1 and Windows 10 will typically pick up the majority, if not all, of the drivers that you need to run all of your hardware. Are you sure you want to cancel? Yes. Let's close this out. And then we'll see what it looks like once, as you saw from the beginning. So I'm not hitting any boot options. Now it gives me the 3 operating systems in which I can load to. So I'm just going to hit 10 and go to 10. And that's all there is to it. Now, when you initially do this, it will ask you which operating system you want to be the default when your computer loads up, so you don't have to hit enter when the operating system, when all the operating systems are installed. It would say, which one would you like to be the default? So I have Windows 7 as my default, and it even gives you an option for the timer on how long you want to wait to go into it. So my timer is set for 30 seconds, just in case I walk away for a second if I want to go into a different operating system. So, and yeah, that's all there is to it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I tried to keep it as simple as possible. So now you know how to burn ISO files to a CD-ROM or a blank DVD or a blank CD, or burn a ISO file to a thumb drive, and that's all there is to it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this was informative, and I will see you in the next one. Later.